side do you want first? Brake or?
I don't know this matters.
We'll figure it out when we...
Sprocket side first. I'm just going to move these magnetic bumpers so that they support the wheel from the rim. I don't want it to be supported at the tire. Actually, if I weren't doing this for video, I would have measured that and set them up accordingly.
Do you want me to hold the wheel?
Yeah, if you'll hold the wheel, because it's just awkward. The magnets are so strong, I actually had to use both hands.
Yeah, no problem.
To adjust them. Okay, one small adjustment here. Okay, now let it down. One more tiny little adjustment. There we go. The disc is about 1.5 inches or so away from the frame of the machine, so there's no risk.
Contact,
of any problems there. You can see there's some free play here. We don't want that. So I'm going to slip one of these stepped adapters in. This ratcheting mechanism, this is the duck head, and you can see why. It does look kind of like a duck's head. But this piece, this black plastic piece here, there is a different one that you would have to get special if you're using like GS wheels with cross spoke design, because that rim edge is a different thickness and different shape, and so this part, which is what's going to interface with the rim, this would have to be a slightly different dimension.
Okay.
But this one will work for everything else. Well, I guess I really have gotten ahead of myself because we're not ready to use this yet.
Yeah, we got to break the bead.
We got to break the bead.
Have you let the air out of the tire yet?
I already let the air out, so I'm going to replace this now.
And this is when you'll adjust the height of that, because you want to get it right down close to the rim.
That is not where I need it. So I'm going to lower this just a bit. So I want that adjacent to the shoulder of the rim without contacting it.
And that's like a hard plastic cover over the metal.
Correct, yeah. And this this top piece has two options for where you set up this pivot. You can undo these screws here and move the pivot back if you have a narrow wheel.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, this is a standard sport bike.
Was it 180, 55, 16 or something like that? 17?
Yeah, and I believe it's a 5.5. It might be a 6-inch rim. Without further ado,
let's break the bead. Do you need a little more? Do you need a little more ass for that? There it goes. Or did the whole thing just move?
Yep, it's because I guess I needed to put this top block
a little farther up.
Just a little bit further up. Yeah. No, maybe even a little further. There we go. Okay.
All right. A little trial here.
I did break the bead, but it just moved the wheel.
Oh yeah, I hear the air coming out.
Yeah. So yeah, it was broken. It didn't look broken, and so I'm just gonna do this probably at like
the cardinal points.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, I have not changed.
That's the stock tire, right?
That's the stock tire, and yeah, I haven't worked with this wheel before, so it feels a little unfamiliar how it's gonna.
Well, and when you have a nice painted wheel like that, you don't want to muck it up.
Right. Right, and there's no chance of doing that with this.
Yeah, I'd say give it one more.
Broken beads with, standing on a 2x4.
This is way easier than that.
It is. That's one one side. Let's see. Let me get that spacer. Yeah, so if it's not obvious, this is the first time I've used this device. So you're seeing a completely unpracticed version.
So you've practiced setting it up, but not practiced using it.
Correct. Right. So
this is what Motorcycle Test Kitchen is all about, Mark. Unvarnished truth.
Yeah, this is definitely unfiltered. I may have left out a step.
Do you want the instructions?
I do.
Check. This. Oh yeah, the actual spacer back in.
Spacer back in.
I think you're going to need this one for that.
You, sir, are correct. And there we go.
There you go. So you want to use the wheel spacers that come on your wheel.
Well, at least on this wheel. I don't know.
At least on that wheel.
I don't know whether that's going to be universally applicable.
Your mileage may vary.
Yeah. There we go.
There, it stayed off that time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, I guess I am a little hesitant to apply the required force. I don't want to hurt something.
You don't want to scratch your pretty orange rim.
No.
I heard it that time.
Yeah, yeah.
I think you got the move down now.
It may look like I'm really struggling to exert enough leverage here, but I think what you're really seeing is me being tentative.
Yeah.
Because without being familiar with this, I'm a little reluctant to really go for it.
I'm standing here. It may look different on camera, but you're not exerting heavily.
Oh, no. No, no. I mean...
So the tool is really doing the work.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's what you want to hear.
Yeah, now that looks... All the bead breaking is done. This comes away.
Do you leave the elbow in there?
This?
Yeah.
Yeah, it won't be in the way. Now, this ratcheting mechanism with the duck head goes on next, and it just slips over the spindle, and you'll see there's an adjustment knob here, so you loosen that up, and then you can adjust the duck head to match the
distance there. Yeah, just like the elbow.
The radius of the wheel. I am going to refer to the instructions for the next sequence.
Always a good idea.
It looks like I just am going to slip the duck head over the exposed shoulder of the rim.
Okay.
And kind of get it to where it's snug against the shoulder. There's a groove, if that wasn't apparent in the earlier view of the duck head. There's a groove, and the shoulder of the rim just slots right inside that groove on the back side of the...
That's why you need the bead all the way broken.
Yes, yes, yeah. Because you've got to be able to get the duck head
on the rim.
Yeah, and it's going to extend over the back side of the shoulder.
Is this the exciting part when now you use the tire iron?
We're close.
Okay. That's my favorite part.
Okay, so they want me to turn the wheel to have the mounting and dismounting arm. That's what they're calling this. They want to have that facing downwards at 6 o'clock. And they're saying the valve should now be located at 3 o'clock. I didn't even pay any attention to that. That was probably on the other page.
Yeah, the valve's at a little beyond 9 o'clock.
Right. Okay, so I'm just going to rotate that so that the valve is at 3 o'clock. I doubt this makes any difference here. I think this is probably more relevant if you have a tire pressure sensor that you have to watch out for. underneath the valve, and this bike does not have that. So we'll put the valve at 3 o'clock.
And then move that to 6.
Yep. Move that around the circumference there to 6. Insert the wheel rotation blocker. That is this part that I mentioned earlier. You would use a strap if you were dealing with a wire spoked wheel. There are multiple holes for this to go into that will accommodate different wheel designs, but
and right where that would come into contact with the cast part of the wheel, it's coated, so it won't scratch.
Yes, right. There's a kind of a rubbery coating, so everything that might possibly touch your rim is coated in some kind of plastic or rubbery material
to prevent scratching and damage.
Right.
It's really well thought out.
It is. The wheel will not, won't be able to rotate.
You want bead grease or soapy water?
Now we're using Rabaconda stuff here. Let's use all their stuff.
All right. There's your brush.
Okay.
There's your bead grease.
Oh, it's quite stiff. I thought it would be goopy, but it's more like it's very, very waxy. So that will cut down on the mess factor considerably.
You're just going to cram it in between the
I guess
rent.
so,
There you go.
yeah.
So on your new tire, that'll wipe off pretty easily.
I think so, yeah. Or if it needs to be rinsed off, we'll see. Get some on the duck head here.
And it looks like that tub will last a good long time too.
I think so, yeah. Especially, this does also cut down on waste when you're using a spray bottle of soapy water.
Yeah, it just gets everywhere.
Yeah. 20% stays on the tire. The rest of it goes on your pants and floor.
That's right.
It's the tire iron.
All right.
Okay. Now, people who've changed their own tires certainly are familiar with putting the tire iron over the shoulder of the rim and then trying to work the tire over that. You don't do that with this. You're going to put the tire iron actually over part of the duck head. So you see that it's not going to be against the rim like you would normally think. It's going to go over the duck head, which is already protecting the rim.
So you just got to catch the lip under the edge of the tire.
Correct. And
might require a little pushing.
Yeah, got it. So, just make sure I believe I'm
I think you got
all
it.
set to just.
I can see the next steps.
Yeah.
And it looks like because of the long arm on that, you putting your foot on it is the right thing to do.
Yeah,
to
that's
keep
why
it
it's
stable.
Yeah, it's designed this way on purpose because when you start to use this, you're going to be standing on this, and you will offset the leverage you're putting on the machine. We've got this now with its little hook underneath the bead of the tire, and we've got it now rounding on the
duck head.
The duck head, not the rim of the wheel. These cleverly just go on here and snap into place, and then that holds the tire over the drop center.
It sure does.
I know where this is supposed to end up, and yeah, I guess I need that out of the way. Because it's gonna, once I get this levered up, it's gonna go underneath a little hook here.
Oh.
And I was concerned I wasn't gonna be able to get it around that, but I can just move that out of the way. Let me have another one of those drop center tools. Because even though it's well in the drop center here, it's coming up out of the drop center.
Down there.
Yeah.
Here, let me hold this so it doesn't rotate on you.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking if maybe we do these kind of at
thirds.
Yeah, that keeps it in the drop center all the way around. And
oh yeah, that was much easier. Good thinking.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right under the hook.
Yep. So yeah, that actually was a tiny fraction of the pressure that I was exerting earlier.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Do you leave the drop centers in as you're going to start to spin it, or you got to take those out now?
I'm sure we'll have to take them out because this is going to have to rotate around the circumference of the tire.
Gotcha.
So these are just temporary aids
to get the lip over.
Right. Now, this is where the real genius of the machine starts to show. I'm excited about this part because
this is the hard part of changing a tire.
Yes, but this is what is so incredibly miraculously easy and quick on this machine if you know what you're doing. Now I'm going to start pumping this up and down. The ratchet mechanism is going to allow that to only rotate in one direction, but I don't have to move around the wheel. Yeah, it moves this around the spindle. The wheel stays put, but the tire iron is going to fall out here in just a minute, so I want to be able to catch that. See, once this gets going, the tire iron is now irrelevant.
Yeah.
And the duckhead is levering. You see this?
Yeah.
The duckhead is levering the bead of the tire over the rim. And I mean, I am not putting any force on this at all. I mean, this is very
it's like magic.
This is very, yeah, look at that. So I guess I could do that by hand.
That's more fun to use a tool.
There you go. Yeah, and I mean that's it. So now when we do the other side, now that we know what we're doing, I know what I'm doing, this should go a lot faster.
Well, and the other side is usually easier too.
Yeah.
Once you've got the front side off, the back should just pop over. The back side should pop over pretty easy.
Right. I didn't need to do any of that.
Right.
I could have just left that in place because I just put it back the way that it was. So.
Oh, but with a really narrow tire, you might need to pull it off just to move it, to get it over the edge, so you can slide the tool in instead of having to force the tire over it. If that makes sense.
Yeah. So actually, I didn't get it quite on the shoulder the way I meant to. And now I have the tire pressing against this in a way that makes it a little more awkward. Okay, now it's on the rim. The way that I had it before, I could have just left it alone. Okay, now, same procedure. I'm gonna take the hook end, get it underneath the lip of the tire. Out too far. You know, I think the back side of the tire was not as well in the drop center as I imagined it was.
Oh, look how easy that is.
Yeah, that's the issue. Yeah.
So it's really important to get the edge of the tire in the drop center of the wheel. Now back to the ratchet.
Rinse and repeat. Got my stopper in there. Oh, I lubed the wrong side of the... I was thinking it was going to come this way. It's going to go that way. Well, let's see. Nah, it definitely needs lube.
Okay.
Special effects.
Oh yeah, look how much easier that is. Is that tire iron going to fall out?
Yes. Actually, yeah, for whatever reason, it's a little more... I guess it might have taken a little longer for it to fall out.
Hey!
There you go.
Look, everybody, it's a tire. Ta-da!
And I can tell you, even with all of the missteps,
It's only been, well, it's been 17 minutes since we turned the camera off and back on again.
well, even if it had been twice that, I can tell you that the amount of effort involved is
Much lower.
Oh my God, it's a tiny, tiny percentage of what would have been involved if I was doing this on my old tire changer.
Yeah.
With, tire irons. Here, actually, now you really can see how this sits on the shoulder of the rim. I'm going to go ahead and free that up. Get it off of there. Well, there we go.
Yeah, because you won't be able to pull that off the spindle until that's loose from the rim.
Right. So,
here's what I'm good at.
well, I'm going to go ahead and wipe this down, if only to kind of distribute the grease. Actually, while there's no tire on it, I'm going to just go ahead and pre-lube.
That's just lubing, Mark. It's not pre-anything.
You're right.
That's the editor in me shining.
Okay. So.
And you can do the tire as well.
I can. And I'm going to go ahead and do
both sides of the wheel and both sides of the tire.
Okay.
There, I helped. See?
Yeah. And we'll lube this. Just set this on here. Now, on a regular tire stand, a lot of times you can just push the first bead over by hand.
Let's see if you can do that now. I find that especially true with the larger tire, larger diameter tires.
Yep.
Which that is not terribly. 17 isn't bad, but
yeah, it's not.
What if we double team it? Maybe we can get it.
There we go. We almost put the whole thing on.
Yeah. I didn't mean to break our rule of.
Well, again, like if I were feeling more oriented and at ease with this, I would have applied more pressure. I don't think that was truly a two-man job.
Yeah.
I appreciate the help.
You think we'd get the other one over if we try real hard?
Well, that would defeat the purpose of the machine.
Well, that's true.
Surely that can't be possible.
Well, don't call me Shirley. Let's try it.
Just to prove that you really do need the machine.
Oh yeah, that's not going over.
No,
the first one,
not even close.
Because the opposite
it's,
side pushes in.
Yes. Well, we pushed the wrong side over. I'm gonna rotate this. I didn't see any reference to where the valve stem should be, so I'm not going to worry about it. On this wheel, again, because it doesn't have a tire pressure monitoring system.
It's not as critical, yeah.
Okay, got the duck head on the shoulder of the rim. Okay, there's a bit more of a trick here.
Okay.
When we put the duck head on before, I think it just sort of naturally interfaced with the bead of the tire in the proper way. But now we actually have to make sure that one side of this is covered by the bead while the other side is bare. So it's under the part that looks like the duck head, and that's going to be the trailing portion as it makes its way around the circumference of the wheel. Okay, I've got my stopper in place there. Now it's resting against that. We need to push more of this over the...
You want to get as much of it over as you can.
Yeah. But it may also be that that's going to try to rotate. Actually, you know what we did not pay attention to is where the dot is on the tire. I want that next to the valve stem.
Oh, right.
Unless they put the barcode.
That was the only thing I could think of, is that the barcode
Barcode serves as the dot.
The light spot.
Well, we don't have anything else to go on, so
Yeah.
we'll try that. Okay, so I'm going to get this barcode sticker adjacent to the valve stem. Okay, now let's get this back.
$12.
Yeah. And that's against the stop. And we want
You want the front
Yeah,
edge
that.
under?
Yeah,
Yeah, there you
so
go.
the duck swims to the right side. Okay. This goes over the tail of the duck. Then we'll put some more of this on by hand.
And if you need to, you can use the I forget what those things are called.
The drop center tool.
Drop
yes.
center tool to hold that in place while it starts to spin.
That's what I was just thinking. Well,
Yeah, give it a shot. I think this is always the hardest part of doing any tire installation by hand, is getting it over, getting that second edge over.
yep. But again, I mean, compared to using tire irons,
Yeah, it looks like
this
it's
is-
going pretty easy.
this is really nothing.
This is the hard part here at the end, and it looks like it's going to go right on.
Look at that, yeah. 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 Did not have to curse once.
It's almost unfair.
So,
Look how easy that was. That was so easy. Once you got it all in position, it just went right on.
yeah.
I think for that aspect of the install alone makes this thing worth whatever it costs.
Yeah. It might take doing it 4 or 5 times, to really become,
Proficient.
fast.
Because even this was, 10 minutes.